Hey, I'm Dustin.
And I'm Steve. Welcome back to the Wedding Photo Hangover podcast, the finest phototainment in the world. We are an irreverent look at photography. This podcast, like aspirin, will help you recover from your wedding hangover.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dustin, my man. It's been way too long. What you been up to, buddy?
Just trying to keep my head above water, man. Just like most photographers out there, I think 2021 is a year of insanity. It's like the world shut down last year, and now everybody and their mother wants a picture taken, which is great. It's a great thing. It's a good thing. I love being busy.
It's a great thing, a good thing.
It's fabulous. We're going to build this photo business. It's going to be the biggest photo business you've ever seen.
You just got to build that wall.
And then put a photo business on top of it with a telephoto lens. But no, it's good. I feel like portrait photographers have to just be crushing it right now because we get family photo requests on the daily. I think last year has a lot of people rethinking their priorities in terms of family photos and portraits. So I don't know about you guys, but
we've gotten more family photo requests and more newborn requests than we've gotten in a long time. I feel like. Yeah, and without like us running, like in the past when we were getting like a lot of family photo requests and newborn requests, it was always because we were running some sort of like deal or promo or something. And now it's just like they're coming in.
Where were we? We were talking about you turning down newborn photos because you hate babies. I think is where we were.
That's me. I was like, oh, babies, they're the worst. And I
people
turned them
see
all
your
down.
face. And they're like, Steve, you look like a baby. We should have you photograph our baby.
Yeah. And I'm like, gaga. I don't know how to do that.
Come breastfeed our children.
I'm like, you just said I look like a baby. I'm looking for them breasts. You know what I'm saying? Heyo. Hey, speaking of drinking, what are you sipping from the nipple over there?
Speaking of slippery nipples, I am drinking a Shorts Brew Soft Parade. This is a fruit ale brewed with blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. And in really small print that I didn't see when I purchased this is that it's also a sour.
Ooh, sour.
Yeah, I knew you were going to love that.
No, I'm not a huge fan of sours, but I've been coming around on them recently. Went on a little family vacation with my brothers and my brother-in-laws, and they're all into sours. And they had like 40 different sours that they made me try with them. So coming around.
And this beer is a great Michigan beer. It's actually brewed in Elk Rapids, which is a portion of Grand Rapids that Steven Van Elk's family has kind of taken over and kind of created as their own little cult-like area called Elk Rapids.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's how them Van Elks do. The rest of them are centered in Van Royt, which is a part of Detroit. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was
where they
Van
make the vans. No,
Ohio.
No. They actually own a part of Ohio called Van Wurst, and it's like Van Wert, just a little bit worse. Mm-hmm.
Is that a real place?
Yeah, I mean, the Dutch were just super honest, so you can trust us with everything. So I would never lie to you.
Steven, speaking of lying to me, what are you drinking tonight?
Dustin, I'm so glad you asked. I'm drinking a bourbon barrel no sparge Imperial Golden Ale from Taxman Brewing Company. This is a great Indiana beer for a great Indiana man like me and like you, Dustin, and like a few of our listeners, but not very many. Not very many. Most of our listeners aren't from Indiana.
Oh, Steven, they'll come around. Don't fear.
Yeah. Like any great artists, we are not appreciated in our own time / hometown. So, home state.
Home state?
Yeah, home state.
Homestead.
We're homesteaders of podcasting here in Indiana. Indiana didn't have enough podcasts, and so we came in from out of state to homestead the area. Yeah,
We got a tax credit to come record here.
Yeah. That's how it works. That's how all the great podcasters got their start in the biz. Everybody started in LA, like me and Dustin, and then they moved out to the unknown.
I'm just picturing the conference room full of old white guys, and they're like, all right, Indianers, how do we get the word out about our great Indiana state of Indiana? I have an idea. There's this new up and coming broadcast format called podcast. You hear podcast is what I'm saying. Let's get two of the youngest, best looking voices in the world, ship them over here to Indiana. We'll pay for everything, feed them beers, and have them just talk about great Indiana things like beer.
Exactly. Beer is the greatest Indiana thing. Dustin, but we should probably start talking about photography. This is a photography podcast after all.
Photography podcast. Yep, let's do it.
How has your wedding year been going so far?
We are 15 weddings deep into the season.
We call that here in Indiana. Balls deep.
Balls
Yeah, that wasn't
deep.
an Indiana pun. That was just me being dirty. Okay, let's move on.
15 weddings deep. We're I'm not sure if you can relate to this.
Husk deep. Yeah. A corn thing? Is that anything?
No.
Just the tassel. No?
Just the husk. Just for a minute. Just the cob.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough corn jokes.
Yeah, we're getting a bit corny, aren't we?
Oh, that one was good. That was a real little ending there. But no, I get this thing every year. This happens to me in wedding season, where like I'm like so amped up for wedding season. Wedding season gets here. Let's say like May is when things kind of really go full tilt for us, and then it's like I'm sprinting, just trying to keep up. June comes, hits you like you're just running into. Yeah, you're just running into a wall, trying to get like June. You're like, oh my God, I'm still trying to recover from May. Here June is just like slapping you in the face with its cock. And then you're like,
corn husk, I believe is what you meant to say.
Slapping it with your corn. Sorry, it was a donkey metaphor.
I believe you meant rooster metaphor. You're confusing your animal puns.
Running through the hen house. And you just you get to July and you're finally starting to catch your breath, and you're finally like everything's starting to feel like you're slowly getting caught up in July. So that's kind of where we are in things, is we're finally starting to catch our pace. You're coming down from that sprint, you're like, okay, I need to slow down. This is not a sprint, this is a marathon. And you're just trying to get everything in line with like scheduling and business practices. I think we've talked a little bit about this, but we had a young lady, Lily, who worked for us for about 3 years, proved herself to be quite invaluable, and we lost her this year. So it's been also a bit of a learning curve for us to kind of relearn how to do everything on our own again.
Or you could just hire someone else. Why don't you make Lily hire someone else and train them to take over her job before she quit?
We tried that, and the person didn't work out, and interviewed a few people, finally found somebody to take on half of her responsibilities, which is
that's how you're telling me it didn't work out with me? Jeez.
Yeah. Sorry, Steve.
Wow. I thought I was doing a bang-up job replacing Lily.
You've been fired.
Wow.
You've been fired. But no, it's been good. We've been figuring it out as we go, and eventually we'll find that perfect person to take on all of that responsibility. But for now, I'm just not sleeping. So yeah.
Oh, me too, bud. I was up till 4 a.m. every single night last week. Well, okay, that's an exaggeration. I was up till 4 a.m. 3 weekday nights last week, and up until 2 a.m. the rest of the nights last week, working. It was horrible.
But then what time do you have to wake up in the morning? I think that's the kicker.
Last week, I was getting up around 8 every single morning. This week has not been that on it. I haven't been that on it this week. This week it's been more like 10 o'clock every morning sometimes. Maybe one
So
morning I woke up at like 12. You know how it is. I had a
what are you
doubleheader
up
this
so
weekend.
late working on?
Calling, editing,
Okay.
answering all the emails I couldn't get to during the day because I was calling and editing, all that great stuff. I've been like learning more about Salesforce, which is like a CRM for businesses to manage their sales and stuff. And one of my friends hired me to do a bunch of Salesforce work for him. That was much more time consuming than he had led me to believe it would be. So that was fun. And just a lot of staying up late. Good times.
So you work for Salesforce now.
It's a great Indiana company. You know how it is, buddy. Gotta support, gotta represent. No, but I mean, other than all the work stuff,
No.
my summer has been pretty decent. I've been getting a lot of back pain. What I've been shooting, I posted in the group about it, looking for advice about camera straps. But I think I figured it out. For me. I just bought 2 Black Rapid straps instead of buying like a legit harness. It's like
Just
a poor
make sure you
man's
don't
leather harness. And so I've been running around
make
with
sure you
those, and
don't
it feels so
Google.
much better.
Just make sure you don't Google Black Rapid strap on when you're
Oh yeah,
looking for
yeah,
those.
yeah. This is the summer where Steve's got his strap on. He's got 2 strap-ons. I'm all about that double lens penetration. I'm really into that. That's what helps me make the art is seeing double penetration with lenses in cameras.
If
To
we
be
could in the
specific,
group,
yeah.
could you drop a photo of you with your double Black Rapid strap on set up?
Getting double penetrated. Got it. Yeah,
Yep.
do that for you real quick. Don't worry about it. It'll be magnificent, and our Facebook group will get shut down, I believe is how that goes.
No, I don't think so. It's private. It's a private group. Safe place.
But no, dude, I was getting so much back pain at weddings because I was just shooting like neck strap, and that killed me this year. It's just been killing me. I'm too old.
Yeah.
I got too old.
I finally broke down this year, and I started going to a chiropractor.
Yeah. But I mean, I've broken down in more ways this year, but that's some news that we're probably going to save for later. Let's move into everyone's favorite part of the show, certainly mine. Let's do some Q&A.
Questions, answers.
Let's do some Q&A.
But Steve.
Our first question comes from Kenzie Ray McMullen from our very own Facebook group. I need opinions. My boyfriend, who wasn't vaccinated, has tested positive for COVID. I am vaccinated and have tested negative. We are staying in different rooms and doing our best to keep our distance. My question is, should I not be shooting with clients? Or should I let my clients know my boyfriend is positive, but I'm negative in not being around him? I have a wedding next Saturday, and I already have a backup shooter, but I also have a few sessions this week. Let me know. What would you do?
I'd probably just break up with my boyfriend.
Yeah. I mean, she said, she's not being around him, and that she's negative on the relationship. So I think she might have taken that step already. And Kenzie, Dustin and I just want to say congratulations from our heart of hearts. That's a big step to break up with somebody for getting sick, and we're really really proud of you for doing that. A lot of people, when their partner gets sick, they stick by their sides, but we love that you've instead decided to just dump him, straight, kick his ass straight to the curb,
Yeah.
Dustin, what are your
100%.
thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would have just said, you know how important my business is to me, and you went and got yourself sick, and sorry, thought the sneeze was appropriate. And now I can't be with you anymore.
Simple as that.
I only date healthy people.
I'm
a healthist.
You take some vitamin C, maybe get a little bit of vitamin D once you can go back outside again, and then we'll talk.
Steve loves that vitamin D.
This is nuts. Yeah, I do. Keep it together, Dustin.
Health jokes. But no, all seriousness, Kenzie, I saw this post in the group and I was like, I am not qualified to answer this question because I had a similar situation just a few weeks ago where
when you divorced Corinne temporarily?
No,
temporary separation?
I was looking for a second shooter for a wedding and found one thanks to Steve's recommendation in a Facebook group. And
Whoa, wait, what? You hired someone I recommended?
no, you recommended the group to post the question in.
That sounds better. That sounds more like sort of
like,
helpfulness.
Steve, do you know anyone that would be available to shoot? And Steve's like, check this Facebook group. I don't recommend anyone. So yeah, talked to this person and they seemed like they would be a good fit and said, I hired them. And then I was like, let me just check their Facebook out and see if they have any recent work that they've posted because their website was a little dated. And their first post was not feeling my greatest. I think I might have COVID. And it was like from the day before. The wedding was like this weekend. And I was like, oh shit. Like, what do you do in that situation? Like, this guy clearly just said like, hey, hire me. And then like 12 hours earlier thought he might have COVID. So I waited
he
the
didn't
next
know
day
when he said, hey, hire me.
Right.
So.
He did not know. So yeah, I messaged him the next day and he said, no, don't have COVID. Results are good. It was just a cold or whatever. So
you had a close call.
Yeah, but I was in that moment where I was like, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Do I like question him? Do I wait for him to come to me? Definitely different than Kenzie, but in the same vein of dealing with second shooters that may or may not be sick.
Yeah,
you've had to deal with this.
I had a wedding.
Yeah.
I had a wedding where Jen was supposed to be shooting and I was supposed to be second shooting for her. And she got some sort of bronchitis and could not like get out of bed. So we found that out the night before the wedding and then went on a frenzy of trying to find somebody to replace her. Found somebody to replace her. And the next morning I got a call from that person and they said, hey, I am very sick. I have a fever and I'm coughing. And this is the second shooter we've worked with before multiple times, and she actually just shot the last wedding with me. So she's somebody like we trust. We don't think she's lying to us, but she tested positive for COVID as soon as she was able to get in and get a test. So
and she'd been vaccinated.
Yeah, she's been vaccinated and she had COVID before. Yeah, so all sorts of crazy stuff going on there, which is the Delta variant. You can still get it even if you've been vaccinated, and you gotta watch out for that. But that was a harrowing wedding because I think Jen found a new person to shoot for me maybe 2 or 3 hours before the actual wedding started. And that person couldn't get to the wedding until about 15 minutes after they were my second shooter was supposed to arrive when I was supposed to get there. Just timing wise, it didn't work out. That's how late we hired them. And so, oh man, that was harrowing, but she did a great job, took great photos. She got a lot of things that I could not get on the day and saved my butt. So that was great. And the clients were super happy with the photos. Yeah, the clients loved in focus photos, which I provided lots of. No, that's the wedding where really my back pains and troubles started to really hammer home. Because I was literally sprinting all around the whole day, like literally running. Jen actually got like a comment in an email from the bride who was like, we had multiple guests tell us they saw your husband running all around doing photos. And I was like, oh, that's just what you want to hear from your client. At least they know a hustle, I had my my Air Jordans on, so I could really, pivot, just on a dime. I had that ankle support that you only get with sneaks. So, running shoes just don't do it for you. You gotta have that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. That way you can
Yeah.
leap over tables or guests or small children at a moment's notice.
Yeah, well, I mean, because I was wearing Air Jordans, they did have to set up a basketball hoop on the terrace at the place, and I did have to do a slam dunk every 5 minutes. It's just a requirement when you wear Air Jordans. I don't know if you were familiar with that, but like, if you can't dunk, you're not allowed to wear them, and also if you're wearing them, you have to do a slam dunk every 5 minutes or so.
I want the listeners out there to kind of understand the level and the quality in which the weddings that Steven shoots, when he can say things like, on the terrace of the wedding I photographed, they had to set up this imaginary bath. The fact that there was a terrace, you know, it's
I'm
not
sorry.
just like
Did you say imaginary? Did you say imaginary? Because this is very real. It's very real, and I could
I'm sure it
very
was, Steve.
real dunk on this. This hoop is 8 feet tall. I could very real dunk on it. In fact, I even heard at one point in time one of the guests going, "He's heating up," and then everybody started to cheer. It was pretty awesome. That actually happened in the middle of the ceremony, which was a little distracting, but you know, the bride and groom were cheering as well. They were really into it. So, you know, what can I say?
I think, Stephen, it might be time for you to succumb to a pair of shoes that, I don't know, may or may not be more comfortable for your
I don't think
aging
that's
body.
in the cards. But you know, hey, we do have another question from somebody in a Facebook group,
Yep.
and I do have some late breaking news, but we can't get to it yet. Too many questions to get through, and then I'll get to that news later. Some huge asshole in our Facebook group asked, "Is anyone still on Clubhouse? Is there anything interesting happening there with photographers?" Who could that have been? It's so weird that they didn't include a name. It's just anonymous, just like some huge asshole. It's weird, right? Is that
I don't
weird,
know.
or is that just me? I feel like that's weird.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
just think it's odd that somebody would refer to themselves as a donkey.
A donkey hole,
Yeah,
it's not just
awkward.
a donkey. Yeah.
But no, I don't think anyone's on Clubhouse. I think Clubhouse has come and gone. I think there was just like Google Plus. People sprinted there, tried to stake their claim, and that ship has sailed.
That ship is sunk, is what I think you meant to say.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I mean the concept of Clubhouse, I think was valid, was cool, it was neat. I jumped in just because of the exclusivity factor of it, and I got in there, and I found it rather
boring.
cumbersome to navigate,
Mm-hmm.
and you would like jump in to like a room, and it literally felt like I'm just sitting in this room listening to people talk. So it's probably like people listening to this podcast. It
was great at the time because it was a live room. When you couldn't do conferences, you couldn't do anything else because of the pandemic. The problem is most of its users were US centric, and then the US got the vaccine and opened up, and I was like, why would I waste my time in a clubhouse when I could go out into the real world and see people and hang out with them?
Yeah.
So it was perfect. It just needed to come maybe like 6 months earlier. Or I mean, it was actually out 6 months earlier. It just needed to hit it big 6 months earlier if it really wanted to have that Zoom power, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think too, it's like I was so busy last year with everything going on that like I would get notified of a Clubhouse room going off. And by the time I could jump in, I'm like midway through a conversation, and there's no way to like go back and like listen to the beginning, which is sort of the beauty of Clubhouse, is that like you don't have to worry about
You're in the moment.
Right. But
yeah. Yeah,
I
mean, I assume multiple people just skipped over this question as soon as it came up and they heard Clubhouse, which was something you couldn't do in Clubhouse. So that was the beauty of it. You could be forced to listen to the boring questions you don't want to listen to. So let's move on to the next one. Cass Moonier from our very own Facebook group says, when a random guest from a wedding messages you 3 days later asking you to send them all the photos of themselves because they really want to post them right now. 1, who are you? I have no idea. 2, the bride only just got her sneak peeks. Why do you think you're more important to the bride? 3. It's been 3 days. Cass says she can't. What about you, Dustin? Could you?
I would move that conversation over to what I like to call Ghost Town, where I just don't even respond to that insanity. Or
Yeah.
you just, if you're feeling ambitious, you send them, you send them your rates. Because I'm betting in certain markets where there's more like influencer types. Like I've done several Chicago weddings this month, and I've seen a few too many guests that like come to the wedding as if like they're not guests at this wedding, like they're here for a photo shoot, like they're there to get content for their Instagram. And it's like weird, it's like a paradigm shift. I've not seen anything like it, because in Fort Wayne apparently we don't care as much about that kind of stuff, but in like the bigger cities I could see guests being like, hey, so I'm doing a post about the shoes I wore to the wedding.
Is that the tact you're gonna take with this? Is like, I'm gonna represent small towns. I'm gonna represent Middle America, and I'm gonna make fun of those city slickers. It's the city slickers. They're the enemy here. Not us good old farm boys out here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, mining all the corn.
Us simple farming folk, we're just here for the bush lattes.
Yeah, mining corn, mining soybeans, mining. What else do you guys mine there?
We mine the hearts and souls of America.
Well, that's better. That one is one you can mine.
And Bitcoin. We mine quite a lot of Bitcoin over there at the harvester. But no, I would simply say, like, absolutely, we love working with influencers like you and getting photos to you sooner. We charge $75 a photo, and we can get those to you in 24 hours. Let us know which wedding you were at. Here's my Venmo.
Let us know which wedding you were at. They know which wedding they were at, Dustin. They know.
I know, and they know, but you were like, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, I would feel the same way if you just get like a random email. Like, who are you? What are you doing? Well, why did you come here? What is the meaning of life? Though, send them back, Cass. Send them back and just ask them like existential questions about life and why people sometimes get depressed and why sometimes animals get depressed too, and just see what you get back from them. And if they answer you, then maybe take the time to get into the photos. And if they don't answer you, they weren't ever really serious to begin with. And also, maybe if they don't answer you, you really bummed them out by talking about how animals can get depressed. Why would you do that to anybody else?
What this does say, though, Cass, is
Dustin,
that
are your dogs depressed right now? Dustin, can you tell me that your dogs are happy? Dustin, are your dogs happy?
You don't even have dogs.
I have a cat.
You puss petter.
That's wow. That's the worst 2 words I've ever heard strung together. It's been a while since we've done this show. If you think you can say stuff like that, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's all right. You like petting the puss.
Gosh. It's so much of that. It's ugh. Because you sex it. Yeah. Oh, you can tell I've done it before. I'm not a virgin. That's how you know, because I can say cool things like that instead of pet. Oh, sexified.
The puss.
Yeah, coitus. I coitus the kitten.
Poor cat. Calling Animal Protective Services. What was I going to say? Cass, so what is cool, though, to wrap this question up is that this guest took the time to find out who you were as the photographer of this event. And so that means that you left either an impression on them or they contacted the bride on their honeymoon. and said, "Hey, bride on your honeymoon, who's your photographer? Because they got some sweet, sweet pics of me at your wedding, and I want those." And they're like,
Yeah.
"It was Cass. Now leave me the hell alone."
It was Cass. Go to Cass for your pet and puss pics.
Drinking your signature cocktails. All right.
Oh,
Is that it?
Dustin, we got one
more.
One more. We got to get one more in. Devin Rowland from our very own Facebook group says, "Have you ever had a couple that just goes at it when they kiss for photos? Even in the ceremony, these two just look like they're trying to swallow each other's faces. Oh my gosh. Hooray for passion. But it doesn't photograph super well. How do you tell folks to ease up a little bit?"
It's pretty easy. I've had this happen before. So they're going at it, and you're like, "Oh, this is like, we need to dial this back to 5." And you just say real quick, "I love what you guys are doing. I just need you to do it like it's your brother or sister." And
oh my gosh, you have no idea what I was going to say in response to this question, Dustin. And that just made it so much creepier and weirder. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were going to say the same.
Oh no, I was going to go the porn route. Yeah, porn route. Yeah, because they're kissing and they're trying to swallow each other's faces. And Devin says, "Hooray for passion," but it doesn't photograph super well. And I would say, yeah, but there's like a whole industry centered around the idea that people want to see very, very passionate kisses. You know, yeah.
So
but then you said, pretend they're your stepbrother or stepsister. I think that works better with the porn industry. I hate the world. Why is the world like this?
You're the expert here, Steve. We're just here for the ride.
Oh my gosh. Oh, kill me now. Kill me now if I'm an expert on anything like this. Oh, wow.
Coach us, young Padawan.
So, Devin, this was your first pornographic wedding that you got to shoot. Just wanted to know, where was it going to go up? Was it on wedding wedding guzzlers, wedding vor,
more than the not.com?
Yeah,
is that the site?
Mm-hmm. Wedding Wires, it's an SBDM site.
Wedding Wires,
yeah,
plural. Don't add the S.
Yeah, or I mean, we could go cheap for it and just be like borrowed in blue dildos.
Does anybody actually go to that site?
You don't even have to. You don't even borrowed in blue dildos. I assume they do. I assume there's people listening to our podcast Googling borrowed in blue dildos right now.
I'd like to imagine that our listenership is a bit more mature than that.
I like to imagine not. In fact, I'm going to open up a private browser right now and do a search.
Oh, God.
I'm not. No. Oh, gosh. I don't know what that would lead to.
I'd like you to type in morethanthennot.com and see what
More than the not. Is it spelled KNOT or NOT in your version?
I think it's NUT, but it's pronounced not.
Oh, wow. NUT.
Yeah, it's like a French pronunciation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The nut.
It's pronounced not.
Wow.
We over here in France, we like to go to morethanthennot.com where you can experience more than the nut.
So it's everything leading up to the nut, not just the nut.
It's everything you want and more.
Pre-nut, post-nut, post-nuptials. I've been using this site called noise.cash. It's like a site where like you can just, it's social media, but like you can post stuff and people can tip you with Bitcoin Cash. I'm going to get weird in crypto now. Sorry. And so I've been using it, and it's just been fun and posting random weird stuff. And people all the time, if I post like a wedding photo from an engagement session, will respond back and be like, "Is this a place where people go for their prenuptial photos?" And it just cracks me up because it's like,
So is this like the new
these people
clubhouse?
obviously aren't from America. They're from somewhere else where they don't know, like we would say engagement session, or engagement photos, not prenuptial photos. I was like, I can't remember the last time I heard prenuptial in a sentence. But prenuptial, oh, that's the stuff. Am I right? Where you get those
Ooh.
prenuptial photos.
So let's talk about your OnlyFans account again. Tell me more about this.
That's onlyfans.com/prenuptial Van Elk. Oh gosh, somebody's gonna type that
Where
in.
people pay
Yep.
you in Bitcoin. Or tip you in Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, sorry, no, that's not OnlyFans. That's only crypto, I think. Only cash. I don't know. I feel like there's got to be some sort of crypto knockoff of OnlyFans, because I'm on a crypto knockoff of Twitter. Basically, that's what Noise.cash is.
Interesting.
Anyway, oh, thanks so much for listening to us this week here on the Wedding Photo Hangover podcast. If you love the show, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. If you want to connect, we're at Wedding Photo Hangover on Instagram. Dustin, my man, is at Dustin_McKibben. And I'm at Steven Van Elk. We have an awesome Facebook group you should join. Just search for Wedding Hangover. If you want more content, head over to Patreon by going to patreon.com/WBH. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time your head is pounding. Your limbs feel like dead weight. I burped in the middle of that. Yeah. Man, this Bourbon Barrel No Sparge Imperial Golden Ale. It's 12.5%, Dustin. I made a huge mistake drinking this.
Yeah.
Drinking a second one of these. Huge mistake. If you want more content, head over to the Patreon by going to patreon.com/WPH. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time your head is pounding, your limbs feel like dead weight, and your entire being aches for the sweet embrace of death. That's right. Next week, after you shoot another wedding. Dustin, dun, dun. I do have some breaking news. Big news. Going to blow your world away. But first, what a good, buddy. What a good.
Not much. Watch the new trailer that just dropped today for the Venus and Serena tennis movie.
Ooh, cool.
If you're into sports movies, Will Smith is starring as their father, and it's all about their upbringing and breaking into a white person's sport, as they call it in the movie, as 2 young Black African American women. And it looks pretty cool. Looks pretty. I got to get used to this whole new thing where like movies come out and you're like hyped. You're like, oh man, I'm gonna go see that in theaters. And then they're like, coming soon to HBO Max. And you're like, oh, I guess we'll just watch it at home.
Yeah. Are you gonna get hyped for it? Or are you gonna get heights for it? Like In the Heights? Yeah. Did you watch that? The Lin-Manuel Miranda musical that he made before Hamilton. Yeah, that's on HBO Max. It's real good. Jen
we don't have HBO Max yet.
Oh, sad. I'm so sorry, bud.
Yeah, we have every other streaming platform, and we decided to not add anymore since we are never home enough to watch TV. And yeah, now I feel like every movie in the world is coming out on HBO Max, so might have to change.
Yeah.
How about you, Steve? What it good with you?
What a good. Oh my gosh. So one, this microphone that I'm using right now, Josh Withers, listener of the podcast, sent it to me. It's a Rode NTB USB mic. I love it. Or it's an NT USB Mini. It's fantastic. I love it. So much better than the mics we were using in the past. If people are listening like, Steve sounds so much better than Dustin, it's because of this mic. And if people are listening to see, they're like, Steve sounds so much worse than Dustin, it's because I've screwed something up in the editing like usual. Don't worry about it.
Just blame Josh Withers.
Yeah, blame him. It's all his fault. Yeah. The other thing. So I don't think we've shared this on the podcast yet. Big news, breaking news. Not the only big breaking news. Jen and I are having a baby. I don't know if you know that.
What?
What? And
is it yours?
Constant. It's mine, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. It's got to be. I mean, like, we're in pandemic. We never left the house. It's right. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I have been getting horse semen injected into to try to enlarge my. Oh shit!
Calves.
We're gonna have a horse baby.
Calves.
Calves.
Trying to enlarge your calves. Yeah.
That. Yeah. Well. Yeah. And regrow my hairline. I need a horse's mane. Beautiful, beautiful horse's mane. But Ulysses Del Toro and Maria Del Toro, Ulysses' constant guest on Wedding Photo Hangover, sent us this awesome like baby thing from like So Loverly. It's like one of those things that babies lay down on and they like look up at things above them, and it's just really
like
cool.
Their parents. They lay down and look up at their parents.
Why would they ever do that?
Well, we just stand over our children as they sleep, and we're just like,
yeah, that's terrible. Oh my gosh,
look at
you
us.
haunt your children's dreams.
Yeah.
So that's been really cool. And if listeners / YouTube viewers are wondering why Dustin's not surprised at all when I brought up that we're having a baby, it's because he's known for a very long time. The baby's coming in October. Yeah, and
so
that's
what Steve's trying to say is
another reason why I've been taking over
for a very long time, and he hasn't sent us a fucking gift. And
like Ulysses did. Wow.
Yeah.
And Josh Withers did. That's what this microphone is for. Yeah. Josh sent me a microphone for the baby. He was like, maybe if your voice sounds better, you won't have to do as much editing. You idiot. But he's Australian, so he called me a dumb. We're gonna have to bleep that.
You foster drinking son of a bitch.
Dustin, hey, that's gonna do it for us. But I did. There was one other news item I wanted to share with you. I am getting older. I have been thinking about things at weddings. Been making some changes to my wardrobe. Bought like a bunch of new clothes this year. Dustin, I want you to be prepared for this. Okay, I did go to buy new shoes, and I really hope you're not disappointed. But I actually bought 3 pairs of new shoes. I bought a pair of blacks, a pair of browns, and a pair of grays to go with all my different outfits. And Dustin, I want you to know they were all Cole Haans.
You've succumbed. I believe the first episode of this podcast was you making fun of me. And here we are a decade later of working on this podcast. And you finally have come in.
Oh, no. I want to be clear. None of them look as ugly as your shoes. Mine are like normal looking dress shoes for 2 of them, and then the gray pair are like the kind that are supposed to be more comfortable for running or whatever. But they have like a gray sole. They don't have that god awful white sole moon shoe piece of shit that you have.
So you're saying you don't
just
like
so
my
you
white
know,
sole.
I don't. I'm so racist. I am cutting the episode as soon as I said I bought 3 pairs of clogs. Wedding Photo Hangover was edited this week by Steve Van Elk